Hey guys, hope everything's going well. You guys know the drill. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below. Follow me on Instagram at AIH underscore sports. Alright, I got this in the mail the other day. This is none other than young Manny Pacquiao. His face is all bloody. I really like this face. It's PSA authenticated. I have the PSA thing at the back. I think I paid like, 60 some bucks, 70 some bucks, whatever it is. And this is my second Pacquiao auto. I was looking into Manny Pacquiao autographs because he's running for the Prime Minister of the Philippines. Now, I did just read he's in fourth place in terms of the polling, from what I gathered. So it looks like he's not going to win, but maybe later down the road, if he wins, what's going to happen to his autos? They're going to go up. Price of his sports cards, they're going to go up. He's still boxing at the age of 43. I was skeptical looking into Pacquiao because there were alleged rumors of steroid use, but it is what it is. I still like the picture. So, in terms of this video, I wanted to touch base on one of the experiences that I had on 4Sharp Corners, and I wanted to ask you, do you guys have the same issue? And I believe Personal Finance Dad had an issue about this. So I sent a card to them. It must have been maybe late November, early December. It was my Mayweather BGS 9.5. I've showed you that card before. I bought it at what, $1,050? I used my stimulus check money to buy it. And at the time, I remember my mom told me, don't use your stimulus funds. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. So instead of keeping the bank, I just used it to buy a Mayweather card. This is May of 2020. And anyways, I sent this card to 4Sharp Corners. I was looking at the price. The price of the card was going down. There's not too much liquidity. There's only a small pop size of 12. So I'm like, okay, let me just get whatever I can for it right now, as I, see turbulence ahead in the market, and I just want to take whatever profits I can. So, sent it to them. They have this policy. They put it up there. It was, I think, a 10-day auction, whatever it was, and I guaranteed a 6% rate. So they did the auction for about 10 days. And then the auction sold at what? 50, a little above 5,000, like 5,200. They didn't pay. So 4Sharp Corners, I guess they changed their policy. They don't inform you within 14 days now of whether you're going to get paid or not. And I found out, oh great, the buyer didn't pay. So they relisted in their next auction. That takes a couple of days. So I'm like, okay, hopefully they pay again. So same thing, 10-day auction. I got that 6% discount, whatever it is. And then this time the auction went to 5,500. And guess what happened? The person didn't pay again. Or it's 5,700, whatever. The person didn't pay. So I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is great. So I didn't find out about, for another 14 days, that this dude didn't pay. So I'm thinking to myself, are there guys on eBay who have the same exact card? Are they just trying to artificially manipulate the price of this higher so people can see, oh, look, someone bought this Mayweather BGS 9.5 card for $5,500. They may be an owner and they're just going to get maybe a strike on their account, but they don't care because they want to keep the value of their card higher. So I do remember, though, last year, I made the mistake of not selling this in February of last year, March. On Golden Auctions, a PSA 10 went for about 36 grand. And then I was bragging to people like, look, I bought this for $1,000. Market value is $15,000 because some dude bought the card for 15 grand, a BGS 9.5. I wish, once again, I sold it so I could have gotten more than 10 grand. But, I got what? I'll tell you what I got in a few minutes. But anyways, I made the mistake. Even though I made money on this card, I made that mistake. When everything was euphoric, I was slowly selling. I should have aggressively sold this card. But anyways, just wondered, that guy who bought it for 15 grand on eBay, I wonder if that guy is trying to artificially pump up that price because he's underwater. Probably about 10 grand, whatever it is. And then you have to pay sales tax on top of it. So then the next auction comes about, and this time, same thing, 10-day auction, 14 days. So I'm thinking I must have sent this in November. So I didn't find out for 14 days. The auction ended, I think, one day after Christmas. Sold for about 4,400. So at least 4 Sharp Corners honored their 6% value. I think it's a little more than that, but since I requested it for my first auction, they honored it. So I guess that's a good thing. But what I'm irritated about is some of these guys that may be underwater are pumping these, trying to make it look like the price is much higher than what it is. And the thing is, I don't think 4 Sharp Corners says that, oh, we're relisting it again. I think that they just have too much work, so they're not going to bother to deal with it. They're just going to just relist it. And then people could obviously check the serial number on it, on the card. But regardless, I went from, 5 grand to 57 grand, or not 57 grand, 5 grand to 5,700, then to about 4,400. Then I got paid, 41, 4,200, whatever the amount is. Regardless, this is really annoying, and it just shows me that a lot of guys are either playing games or they're just seriously underwater, and they're just trying to get any thousands of dollars, or they're just trying to make sure their card value maintains the value that they got it at. And obviously that guy who bought it for 15.5 is probably not happy. And I remember the PSA 10s were going for about 2,100 in March or April of 2020, around that range. I think it may have been low as 1,500. And then I believe a fractional company bought it for $36,000. This is why I'm skeptical of fractionals. They were buying at the high last year. I should have sold my BGS 9.5 at that moment. And I think right now, if someone were to buy it, it's about 15 grand. I don't know. I think Golden sells some of those cards. But it just shows you how crazy the market has been, just on the way up and now on the way down. There's less liquidity. I believe less fractionals are getting involved in the space. And as a result, some of these card prices are tanking. But I bought early. I was looking at weird cards before everyone else started to look at them in 2020. I was buying like Brady's and all these other guys, Jeter, Manning, 2019. 2020, I just bought weird cards. I was buying Ovechkin, I was buying Mayweather, I bought Khabib cards. Still, they were cheap because everyone was looking at the high flyers at that moment. They weren't looking at the strange sports. Not strange sports, but where people don't collect their cards. But I wanted to ask you guys a question. Have you seen the same thing happening on your end, where you're selling a card and then they're not paying? And I think this is going for high-end stuff, but I could be wrong. I'll leave you with another story. So I sent the card to Probstein last year, and it was a Usain Bolt BGS 9 card. I bought it for about $56 in 2020, I believe. I was telling you, I was looking at weird cards. Or maybe I bought in 2019, I don't know. Bought it for a cheap price because of the Olympics. It was before the Olympics. But I saw the Olympics coming, and I was like, oh, okay, I might as well buy it. And then I saw a PSA 10. I don't know if it was a fake auction, but PSA 10 went for about 20 grand. I'm like, damn. So PSA 9 then went for 3 grand. And then my first sale of this BGS9 was about $1,000. The guy didn't pay. So I wonder if it was like the PSA 10 guys trying to artificially pump up the price. Next time, there was a sale of, and Probstein waited for a while and they didn't pay for 14 days. I'm like, great. And then they relisted. I think the next auction was in the 500s. I'm like, great. The guy didn't pay. Then finally, someone paid a little above $300. And I'm like, that's insane. And once again, I asked Probstein, can you just do a second chance offer? He didn't respond to my email. I was ticked. But once again, when you when you send your cards to someone, they run their business the way they want it, not the way that I run it. The way that I run it with my wife, for the sports cards or whatever, we give a second chance offer. So the next highest bid has the option to buy it. But anyways, it was just a real annoying process. And yeah, I believe that a lot of people are just trying to keep the value of the card because they're underwater. What do you think, guys? And have you had that experience? Let me know. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below, guys. Thanks. Bye.